You know the old saying, brain over brawn, right? Well, there's a fable from the 13th century poet Rumi that tells this story in a way that's, well, pretty incredible. On the surface, yeah, it's about a bunch of animals and a really fearsome lion. But if you dig just a little deeper, it reveals this powerful strategy for facing the biggest challenges in our own lives.
And this really sets the stage for that classic conflict we see all the time, doesn't it? Can a really smart plan truly overcome raw, overwhelming power? This ancient story actually offers a surprising answer, so let's dive in and see what it is. Okay, so first, picture this, a gorgeous, serene meadow. It's basically a paradise for all kinds of animals. But there's a catch. This paradise has a very dark secret. A huge, powerful lion stalks the land, and its shadow turns every single day into a desperate, terrifying struggle for survival.
Living in this constant state of fear, well, it just isn't sustainable. And it pushes the animals to do something really drastic. They figure if they can't escape the problem, maybe, they can find a way to manage it. And this leads to a very unlikely negotiation.
Now here's the thing that's so fascinating. The exhaustion was mutual. I mean, of course, the animals were living in constant fear. But the lion, he was also tired. He was tired of the endless grueling hunt, day in and day out. And this shared weariness, this mutual burden, created the perfect, if strange, opening for a negotiation. So the animals get together and they approach the lion with this desperate, grim proposal. They offer a pact. Every single day they'll draw lots and one animal will sacrifice itself. In return, the lion has to promise to stop hunting them, which would grant the rest of them a kind of fragile, terrifying peace. And you know what? Both sides, just so worn out by the struggle, they agree.
So for a while, this dark arrangement actually holds. But the pact and the fate of the entire meadow is about to be completely turned upside down by one of the smallest and what you'd think is the weakest of all the creatures.
So the day comes when the rabbit is chosen. It's his turn. But instead of running or despairing, he does the unthinkable. He calmly asks for a delay. He tells all the other terrified animals that he has a plan to get rid of the lion for good.
But the other animals? They're absolutely terrified. They don't see this as brave. They see it as reckless. They're pleading with the rabbit to just stick to the deal, warning him that his stubbornness could bring the lion's wrath down on every single one of them. They're basically saying, look at you. You're tiny. Know your place and don't ruin this fragile peace we've made.
But the rabbit has a brilliant comeback. He tells them that his power isn't in his muscles, it's in his mind. He claims his wisdom is this unique gift, inspired from a source way beyond just animal instinct, a kind of power that's totally different from the strength of an elephant or the speed of a gazelle.
And to prove his point, the rabbit points to nature itself. He asks, how does a honeybee know how to build a perfect honeycomb? Or a silkworm know how to spin its thread? This kind of innate knowledge, he argues, is a power all its own. And you know what? It works. Seeing the wisdom in his words, the other animals reluctantly agree to let him try.
Okay, so here we go. We're at the climax. The rabbit, totally confident in his plan, deliberately takes his sweet time, setting the stage for a really clever and dramatic confrontation. The lion, of course, is absolutely furious that he's been kept waiting. He's roaring that he's a creature that can tear elephants apart. How could a tiny little rabbit possibly dare to defy him and disrupt his mealtime?
And this is where the rabbit's genius really shines. He plays the part of a terrified messenger, apologizing over and over, and then he unleashes this masterful lie. He claims that another, even bigger, even stronger lion has shown up, declared itself the new king, and stolen the offering. The whole story is perfectly designed to provoke one thing: the lion's fatal pride.
And the lion's ego just ignites. He's enraged at the very thought of arrival, and he demands to be shown this intruder. The clever rabbit agrees, leading this fuming, blinded predator not to another lion, but to a deep, dark well.
So, the lion stomps over to the edge of the well and peers down into the dark water. And what does he see? He sees his own reflection. But his mind is so clouded by rage and arrogance, he doesn't recognize himself at all. All he sees is the snarling face of his enemy, staring right back at him with equal fury.
His overwhelming pride, that territorial rage, it completely blinds him. Without even a moment's hesitation, he leaps into the well to attack the other lion, sealing his own fate in the watery depths.
And just like that, with a single self-destructive leap, the tyranny is over. The animals, finally free from their fear and their horrible pact, gather around the rabbit, hailing him as the savior who achieved with wisdom what no amount of brute strength ever could.
But okay, that's a great story, right? But the tale of the rabbit and the lion is so much more than just a clever survival story. Rumi uses this fable to teach a much deeper lesson about how we should navigate our own lives, our own challenges, and even our faith.
The moral of the fable is really captured perfectly in a famous saying, which the poem itself quotes, "Trust in God, but tether your camel." It's such a powerful reminder that it's not enough to just have faith or to trust that things will work out. You also have to take practical, intelligent action.
Think about it. That first pact the animals made, that was based on trust alone. It was a passive, fearful acceptance of their fate. The rabbit, on the other hand, embodied that second half of the saying. He trusted in his divine gift of wisdom, but then he used that gift to create a clever, actionable plan. He tethered his camel.
The final verses of the poem are basically a direct call to action for us. Rumi is telling us not to be idle observers in our own lives. He says to sow your fields before you can expect a harvest. He describes the world as a kind of prison and urges us to be the one who digs our way out, not the one who just waits for the door to magically open.
And that really leaves us with a final, powerful question, doesn't it? We all face our own lions, those overwhelming problems that just seem too big to tackle head-on. This fable asks us to look deeper, to consider, what is the clever strategy? What is your deep well of wisdom that you can use to overcome your own tyrant?